Well, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim, coming to you from inside the Crasher. That's my Flagstaff made by Forest River. It's a 25-foot camper, and it's called the 25 FKBS. And I am mentally getting ready for the big RV show that's coming up next weekend in Tampa. Hold on. How are you able to have a hot cup of coffee, Tim? You're just sitting there at a Walmart parking lot with no electricity, no water hookup, no sewer hookup. I don't need it because I got a 25 FKBS, a 2024 fully self-contained boondocking machine. You know, that's what I wanted to talk about this morning is when I go to the RV show, I'm going to make videos for all those out there that are interested in, even remotely interested in RVing. And I was just doing some reading on it this morning. There are 30,000 people expected to be there per day, up to like 100,000 people over the 3 or 4 days they're going to have the show. It is the largest or the second largest to Hershey, Pennsylvania RV show in America. And there's plenty of parking there. It's the state fairgrounds, and there's places that I might park outside of that where I'm going to have my friend, my subscriber friend, several of them actually, might be able to pick me up, and I can leave my setup somewhere else. There's plenty of parking for people with RVs that are going there, that are traveling to see them, and that want to maybe trade theirs in. So there is, I understand it's like $16 to park. This is my second cup of coffee. But I slept wonderful last night. It's 52 degrees here in Cocoa Beach, and it's quite chilly. And I knocked on the, I put the furnace on this morning and knocked off the chill. And I have these new white Hanes t-shirts I bought, and I got this Hanes sleeping pajamas. They're very thin. They had some thicker ones, but this is just to knock off the chill. I really don't, I'm not in Michigan or anything where I need the heavy duty stuff, so I didn't want to waste my money on that. These are definitely, ankle to top covering. And then I got this nice robe when I bought that cologne a few months ago. I bought myself a bottle of cologne. It was during the holidays, and they were doing a gift with a purchase at the Ulta store. And let me tell you, you throw this on, this is awesome. So I woke up this morning and I was just looking around, and I'm always admiring and proud of my 2024 beautiful camper that I take very good care of. Right now, it doesn't look as pretty as I normally keep it when I'm at home, and I have everything set up, and a few things on the wall I took off, and my coffee cups up there because I'm traveling, and so everything is kind of in a travel mode. And in my toiletries in the bathroom, I got things in a little basket so they don't topple over, and I don't need to go back and forth setting everything up just for 24 hours. So I'll just pull out these little baskets and boxes or wherever I have a couple things, and find what I need to do my things in the morning. And when I take breaks in the afternoon, come back here and have lunch, I throw the slide out. I have discovered that turning the fridge off, the 12-volt fridge, things stay completely cold. I got a half a gallon of milk in there that is not spoiled. Everything in my freezer stays frozen. So, but I don't travel with it on anymore. I heard that you don't do that. And I just turned it off this morning. I had it on all night last night, and I just turned it off. I have solar panels that are charging these 2 batteries that are sitting on the front of the camper. And then and that's it. That's the only power I have is 2 batteries, 2 12-volt deep cell batteries, regular batteries. I guess they're marine batteries. They're not really for cars. Their cranking amps are different in that respect. But I have these 2 portable generators that were sent to me to do reviews. If you look back in my videos, one is a VTO man, Vitoman, and the other one is that Blue Eddy that is the Mac Daddy. And this Vitoman is no slouch. It's 1500 watts. That's the one I'm using this morning that I put my Keurig on. I plugged it in. I saw the watts. The Keurig runs just under 1200 watts when it heats the water. And that's like a hair dryer. And that would be something that is a pretty big draw. But for the couple of minutes that it takes to make a cup of coffee, you can make several cups of coffee, even though it does pull that battery down relatively quick. Let's see, what percentage am I at now? I was at 85% this morning after I'd fully charged it when I left Jacksonville. It's 81% now. This morning was the first time I used it for coffee. I went out yesterday morning because I woke up at 6. I had a nice long sleep. This morning I got up at 4. I'm searching around for a coffee house maybe nearby or a McDonald's, and nothing is very, very close that I can see without having to drive the whole rig. I'm not going to do that. Not to mention they don't open until 6 and 8 o'clock. And right now it is, I don't know. It is 5:53. I got the TV on here, 12 volt. Every time I stop, I run a little scan. My digital antenna that's on the roof scans for all the air channels there in the area, and everywhere you go, there's about 20 TV channels, local air channels, and then they'll have movies and different kinds of shows. So I'm picking up all the local channels here. I was watching movies last night, all the old TV programs like not TV Land, but just different stuff. Not to mention my phone is a hotspot if I need to watch YouTube, which is a lot, or Netflix, which I don't have, but it's on there. Stream music, anything. I have everything I need without paying a campground $50 to $100 a night to say I can plug a cord in or I can have a water hose hooked up. I got water yesterday at Ron's house, Ron and Sandy over here in Cocoa Beach. I just asked for a few gallons. He said, fill it up. So I took a nice hot shower last night, as long as I want, and I'm going to take another one this morning. And I'm brushing my teeth. I can do whatever. I'm washing dishes. I'm not even worried about it. I have a gauge right over there that tells me the level of my holding tank, so I don't have to be, worrying about. I think I hold 60 gallons of water, so plenty of water. In fact, I'm going to want to dump some of that water, that fresh water, right on this grass out here this morning. When I get ready to leave, I don't want to tow with all that weight. You say, well, 25 gallons only weighs 200 pounds. I'm going to leave some water in there, yes. But when I filled it up yesterday and I rode from Ron and Sandy's house to where I'm at here, about 4 miles, this thing was fishtailing. It felt weird. I don't know, but I'm sure it was all that water. And even though it holds that doesn't mean you're supposed to travel with that much of water. That's what you put in right before you get to where you're going to be boondocking and stay for a few days, and you need water. But you don't travel around the country with 60 gallons of water and all that weight and it's sloshing around. Besides that, those tanks can literally, I'm sure mine are new and solid, but they can fall out. You have an older rig and there's some rust under there or different things that are holding those tanks up in the belly. They can fall out. So anyway, I'm gonna dump some of that water out before I take off today. Where am I going? I have no idea. Last night at 7:52, there was going to be a rocket launch. Elon Musk was sending another rocket up. These guys, Tom and Sandy and Darren and all them over there, told me that these things go off 2 or 3 times a week. They don't even look at them anymore. They've seen so many. And I'm like, man, I want to see it, because anywhere around here, you're going to be able to see a rocket go up. you know. So I got out there, it was cold, and I videoed for 10 minutes for you guys and for myself. I didn't see it. And I know I'm looking in the right direction, and it was a black sky. So either it got scrubbed or there is some clouds up there I didn't see. But I kept looking back and forth, back and forth. That was disappointing because being right here at the Space Coast, not to be able to see a rocket, that was kind of something I was really looking forward to last night to top off this experience of seeing Ron Johns and everything. And let me tell you, that sandbar bar that I videoed where the people were sitting outside in the back when I was riding the electric scooter, that place has been there forever. It is famous. And the Canadians that I didn't get to interview, that I told you I met that have been coming for 6 or 7 years, they do karaoke, they sit out their pool every day, and the beach is right, this hotel, apartment complex, whatever it is they're staying in there, timeshare, whatever it is on the ocean, it's on the beach. Everything around here looks like San Diego looked in the 70s. I mean, it's not hoity-toity, fancy schmancy with multimillionaires building these high-rises with all the security gates and do not come in and cameras and stay out. If you're not one of us, you can't come in. No, this is all open roads that go right to the beach. There were some paid parking, a lot of free parking, and the beach was wide open. You go down the road there, I guess it's A1A that Ron Johns is on. It's just like, takes me back in time when I grew up in Lake Worth, Florida. You know, just everything you need is there, but it doesn't look all shiny and new. And you know how, I kind of like that too, but it wasn't old and ghetto-y though. It's just perfect. It's just perfect. And it looks like a beach town. And you just ride up and down. So many people are riding bikes because of the area and the warm weather. You know, people that don't have a car or they're just saving money for whatever reason. You see people, pedestrians walking to see the sights. And there's plenty of places that I think they've built over the years, though, that do host tourists that come here. And it's a different sort of a vacationing place than when you go down to Palm Beach County. It's just down there it's just become so clustered, so busy, so packed that you can't even see everything because it's just too much. It's just in your face a lot. And it doesn't even compare. I liked Jacksonville. This is kind of, not really comparing them, but because it's a little further south, and the weather's probably a little milder in the winter, and the nostalgic of the Space Coast and the cruise ship port, and well, Jacksonville has that too, and the military bases, but it's just they're similar. But this is really, really cool. Merritt Island, Cocoa Beach, and what's it called? Where the Space Coast is up here. It's called. The actual city name. And there's all kinds of fishing and a causeway that goes over this big wide body of water. I could stick around here again today and go back and park at Ron John's overflow parking like I did yesterday across the street. I owned it. Nobody was there. And pull the little e-scooter out and literally ride up and down the street. After I left Ron John yesterday and went to the sports bar that I videoed and then met the Canadian guys, I was getting a little chilly. The wind was starting to pick up a little bit. It was getting later in the day and I didn't have a jacket on, and I said, you know, I'll just go back to the camper and you know, work my way to find some water. And you guys, I told you this story. Yeah, as I was coming down from further north, when I came into Cocoa Beach, I was corrected yesterday, it's called Cocoa Beach. When I came into Cocoa Beach and turned at Cape Canaveral to come to Cocoa Beach, there was all these neighborhoods. Now see, in Palm Beach County, all the subdivisions and neighborhoods are these beautiful giant facades in the front with this huge hills and walls and palm trees and water fountains and landscaping and a big old armed security guard with a big gate that you can't even look in there and see. All you see is this beautiful frontage. And it's beautiful. It is. But here you come down the road on A1A and it's old school. It's just street, street, street. You can look down. You can turn on anyone you want. Go back around if you need to make a U-turn. Make about 3 rights or 3 lefts, whatever you need to do. And it's just nice houses that aren't big, giant, ostentatious, mansions. They're just nice little 2-3 bedroom with a garage, medium size, homes. It's not tiny cracker boxes and it's not huge. They have them, but this particular area, this right close to the beach, you drive down and I thought, man, I could live here. This is so nice. Look at these streets. Look at these neighborhoods. It looks like everybody talks to each other. It looks like everybody knows each other because they're not into all that security and privacy and paranoia. You're going to steal their stuff. They're just open neighborhoods. And, you walk out and you're getting your car and there's your neighbor right there. And there's your neighbor over here on this side. And there's your neighbor across the street. Hey, how you doing? It just looks like, and it's a different culture, I'm sure. This is not the same people that live in Palm Beach County. It's not the same people that live in Sarasota. And it's just got its own niche. And that's why there's different strokes for different folks. I mean, there's people living in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and they're absolutely getting what I'm talking about because you have a like-minded culture, even though you might have an influx. Everybody's moving around these days, and everybody's switching chairs, but there's a majority still of a flavor that you get from every town. And this one definitely has one. Why are those lights going dim? Something is kicking on. I wonder what it is. I got nothing plugged in. Anyway. Oh, it's the TV maybe. I turned the refrigerator off. So when I was driving down these streets and I saw this inviting neighborhood, and I thought, I used to be in door-to-door sales. So I'm not afraid to talk to people. And I didn't ask but 2 people and I got that water. But when I left Ron John parking lot, I got in the crusher, literally the crusher now, the cruncher. I just came right up to where I rode the e-bike, the e-scooter, and I just went down this first street. And I'm just looking for somebody mowing their grass or out in their yard or in their garage. I'm not going to go knock on a door. I didn't mean that. Although, don't put it past me. So there was a gentleman sitting out on his next door to Ron and Sandy. He was sitting, I seen him. He was sitting on his lanai, just sitting in his chair, enjoying the view of taking in the air. It was a beautiful 68 to 70 degrees, about that hour. Just gorgeous yesterday. Low humidity, just wonderful. And I pulled up, I got the camper, and I'm on the street. Just a little surface street, no cars are coming. I'm not blocking anybody. It's just the locals that go up and down this road. And the grid here is excellent. I mean, you can it's just easy. None of this squiggly wiggly, confusing trees in your way. You can't see where you're going. Where does this take me? It's simple. You kind of know where you're going when you're like, okay, I'm going to come out right there at the beach. There's a main artery there. Then there's like a little side street. Then there's a main artery that goes north and south here. And that's the system. So I saw him sitting there after. I go, hey, how you doing? He goes, yeah, pretty good, I just trying to start up conversation. And, I just saw something on the news here. A train hit some bridge or something. And I said, I'm a traveling YouTuber. And I was just going to ask you something. If you, I said, I don't blame you if you turn me down. It's not a big deal. I said, but I'm trying to get some water to put in my camper, and I didn't know if you might have a water hose or something I could borrow, 10 or 15 gallon. I could get 10 or 15 gallons from you. And he wanted to. First person I had, he wanted to. But he was like, oh, he's trying to figure out. And I didn't see a hose in the front yard. I don't have a hose that will reach or something. I go, listen, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I said, that's okay. I'll ask somebody else, but I hope you enjoy your day. He was just out there enjoying his, his front yard there. And so I just pull up a little bit. The next house is where Ron and Sandy live, and they had that man cave, double 2-car garage. Both doors were open, furniture, tables, 2 big screen TVs. You could see the game going on. It looked like he had a sports bar, but he was the only one in the garage. He had his back turned to me a little bit. He was kind of at an angle, sitting in his favorite chair. And I eased up. I hollered at him too. I said, hey, how you doing? And he turned around and, just curious as to what I needed. And he was already like on the outside in his garage. He wasn't in his lanai like the guy next door. And I didn't want to just yell at him and talk to him from the driver's seat. So I said, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm a traveling YouTuber. I said, my name is Tim. And he sort of started motioning like he was going to get up to see what I was, interested in talking about or what I needed. And I opened my door and stepped out because I didn't want him to, like, come over here to me, I want to talk to you. Give me some water. It wasn't like that. I got out and, how you doing? Yeah, my name is Tim. Just, let him know that, I'm not crazy. And it's broad daylight and he wasn't worried about it. I don't come off that way. And so I just immediately said, hey, I wouldn't mind I was totally understand if you turned me down. I said, but I've been trying to get water. I'm traveling in my RV here. I've been trying to get some water. I've been looking for a spigot on one of these businesses. I said, but it's kind of difficult to, when you're pulling this thing to drive around the buildings and see if I can find one or, there's not a truck stop around here. And I'd like to camp out in the Walmart tonight and take a hot shower. I haven't had a shower in 24 hours. I don't know. I was just saying a few things like that. I wasn't just like downloading him all of my information I'm sharing right now. I said something to the effect that, here's what I said. I said, when I left Jacksonville, I'm from Jacksonville. I said, I just moved up there and decided to do some travel for about 10 days. I'm going to end up in Tampa at the RV show next weekend. And I put 5 gallons of water in my camper at my house, thinking that, that was a lot of water. And I said that I had learned, though, that someone told me like 25 gallons of water only weighs 200 pounds. It's like just taking one more person with me. I said, I would have put more water in, but I just wasn't sure. And remember I was saying earlier, I don't want to drive around with 50 gallons of water in there. I think 25 gallons is a lot too. Just because the word sloshing around, all that weight moving back and forth. A 200-pound person riding in this camper, if I was towing, and they were to move back and forth in here, I would feel it. And I think that's what that water's doing. So anyway, I told him that, and we're sitting there talking, and he's just checking out my camper, and he's kind of like, I could see his wheels were going, but I liked him right away. I could tell right away that this was a nice guy, which you found out in the video. They're all nice over there. And unlike, somebody might have said, no, I can't help you. He wasn't like that at all. He was just trying to figure it out. And I think he was in his mind, he knew that his hose was in his backyard as well. That house is amazing. I didn't get the tour. I didn't go out back, but I was asking questions. They told me they have a pool in the back. He's got those pavers you might have saw in the driveway. He had that all done. He paid $10,000 over asking price 8 years ago when he bought it. He wanted that house. He had a friend in the real estate business that looked for him. It's a block from the beach. He got it. They redid everything. He is not a broke dick. That guy put money in that place. Him and Sandy are very nice. They've done very well. They sold their previous home and they made that theirs. And they have their friends that come over that enjoy sitting out there and, like I said, barbecues and doing what they like to do. And they just living their life to the fullest. And they were doing that before they were explaining to me. I'll get back to the water in a minute. They were doing that before. They were telling me that he didn't collect Social Security until 66 because Sandy said, we were just busy having fun, living life, doing things. And we just didn't think about it. We were making good money and all of that. And then Darren, who was Herb, I didn't want to confuse you guys, but Darren asked me to make his name Herb in the title so that his friends that he might want to show that video to would know that most of his friends, his close friends, know him as Herb. Darren is his nickname. So that's why someone wrote in comments yesterday, who is Herb? Did I miss it? And that was Darren that worked on Air Force One. Anyway, back to the water. Herb, Darren, aka Darren, told Ron, you need to get your Social Security. They've been best friends for about 13 years. And I wish I lived closer. I'd hang out with them too. They seem like nice guys. But he told me, you need to get your Social Security. So you heard the story that Ron told. He went down there and there was like 100 people. And somehow or another, he got front line and whatever. And he got his coming in. Now, he does get the big check because, you know, he just waited, but not intentionally. So he is enjoying a nice check. But back to the water. So we're standing in the driveway talking to each other. He's looking at my rig, and I'm facing towards the beach. So the driver's side is facing his house. So he couldn't see my big crash. So I didn't look like some bum that, you know, goes around drinking and driving and running into everybody. He said, well, I don't know if my hose would reach out there. I said, well, I could back it in. He had this big driveway, you know, and I didn't mean like right up to his house, but like poking in there a little bit. And then he says, well, what side is your, now he's coming around to me, right? What side is the water thing on? I said, well, it's actually on the other side, on the sides that I go in the RV. I don't know why they put it over there, but it's right next to the front door. I said, but I can go down here and turn around. And he goes, all right, go down here and turn around. By the time I went to the end of the block, no traffic, of course. There's no, I don't want to say nobody here. There's people here, but it's not like I'd have been waiting 10 minutes because there's 10 million people like in Palm Beach County. I'm sorry to disparage Palm Beach County, but I got so fed up with that place down there. I grew up there. And this takes me back to what Lake Worth was when I was growing up. This is what I like. This is the size of a city and a town that I'll choose to live in if I ever get a sticks and bricks. I would never want to drag this thing around, even though I have to go down there for my doctor. I would never want to be in that concrete jungle again. There's all the stores and eateries and shopping you need right here. I do not need to have 10 of everything and 10 times the people. I digress. So he says, yeah, just go down here and turn around and come back. So I go to the end of the road, and there's that main road when you get to the end of his road, the right along the beach road. And there's no big, small little areas to turn around, a little, you know, they got it all chopped up. It's just a big, wide open area. I swung that baby around, no problem. I think I had to wait for one car to go by. I come right back down to the front of his driveway, pulled up close to the driveway without getting on the grass or touching anything. And there he was standing there with his fire hose. He had a great water hose. It was like a red hose, a thick rubber, had a little squirt nozzle on it. And he was standing right there, and I pulled up. He goes, keep going, keep going. He goes, that's good. And I lined up the little hole right where he was standing. And I got out there, and I put some water in. We're talking, and I'm telling him a little bit more about it. Now he sees the YouTube Sarasota Tim Crush It sticker on the back window of the crusher. And he saw my damage. I was talking to him about it. I'm holding the water hose there, putting the water in. And a couple minutes went by, and I said, you know, it seems like you know, I put a lot of water in here. I says, but I filled up a 5-gallon jug that I bought at Walmart years ago. And it took a while to fill that up in Jacksonville before I left. And then I walked that around my camper instead of using the hose. I don't know why I did it that way. And because I would have to drag the hose underneath the camper from where the connection is for city water on behind me. And I didn't know. And I thought, well, I'll pull the camper up and I'll pull it back, stretch the hose over. I just said, I'll just fill up this 5-gallon thing and pour water in it. And that's all I need. And when I did that, it took a while to fill up that thing. 5 gallons is 5 gallons. So I'm holding it. I'm saying, oh, I know it looks like I'm taking a lot of your water. I said, but it takes a while to put even 5 gallons. He goes, fill it up. He says, go ahead, fill it up. Fill it all the way up. And I said, all right. And I didn't want to really fill it all the way up because I knew I didn't want 60 gallons of water here to truck around. I just needed enough water that I didn't have to worry about it running out while I got soap all over me and shampoo in my hair in the shower. So we filled it, and there's actually a gauge over there on my panel that shows me my levels of my water, of my black, my gray, and my fresh water tank. I'd forgot about that. And I said, well, I got a gauge right here. I'll check that out. And then I Googled how many gallons. I think it's 60 gallons of water I can hold. I mean, this camper is the max, is just the best. It's got a large capacity for fresh water, gray water, and the black water I think is 30 gallons. So we get it done, and this is what I didn't talk about on camera over there as I was trying to get to the interview, is I give him the hose. That's good, Ron. That's plenty. I really appreciate it. And I said, you're very kind. I really appreciate this. And so he was like asking me questions. So what is it about YouTube? What do you do on YouTube? What is your channel about? And he had all these questions, you know, and I was happy to tell him. And I said, you know, it's about Social Security. And of course, he's 72, did he say? Yeah, that guy looked good for 72. He wasn't. Him and Sandy both. Very vibrant people. Anyway, I said, then the idea came to me. When we got all wrapped up, I said, you know, if you wouldn't mind making a cameo appearance, you know, I always say cameo. It's not even the right term. I just use that. Another Tim Baker saying, I said, if you wouldn't mind, if you'd be interested in making a cameo appearance, I said, I wouldn't mind interviewing you and doing a little YouTube video, you know, not disclosing any personal information or anything, but just talking to you about, you know, how long you lived here, what you did for a living, and how you know, offered me, you gave me some water, and how kind you are and everything. Kind of, my community would kind of eat that up. They love meeting nice people like themselves, and of course your comments definitely reflected that. I appreciate those kind comments. He wasn't one to understand about subscribing and reading comments, although he looks at YouTube a lot. He likes watching this one YouTube channel of this person that scratches off lottery tickets. There's something on YouTube for everything, isn't there? I mean, you can learn how to boil water. There's a YouTube video on everything. But he found this channel where this person scratches off lottery tickets, and he sits there and watches them. But he had all of these questions about, what do you talk about? What is your channel? And then when I asked him about making a video with him, he was a little shy, like a lot of people are when I first asked him. And other people, like the ones I interviewed that had the camper and the trailer, Antonio and the baby, and then Patrick's mom and dad, and Sue the mother, with Will and oh gosh, she was such a nice lady. She was very, I saw my videos. I am so bad with the names. What is her name? She didn't say Abby, did she? Because Abby was over at Ron's house. Anyway, I know you're watching. I'm so sorry. They're hopefully going to run into me again at the RV show. And I subscribed, Patrick, to your channel when you start making videos of your parents' new camper and your bunkhouse. Make sure you make some good videos. Always hold your phone sideways when you video. never straight up and down, always in landscape for YouTube videos. All right, so he was asking me, oh, what would the video be? Ron, back to Ron now. What would the video be about? What are you gonna? I said, well, I just asked you some questions. I said, it's not live, so we can always edit it. I said, don't worry. I said, I asked you the questions. Just want to know, your name and what you did and how long you've been in the area and that kind of thing, and how you gave me some water. He said, well, I suppose, he goes, I've got, and right away he started thinking about Darren, Herb, and he was having some guests come over to watch the Browns game. He said, we're Buckeyes. I said, okay. And he said, just pull your camper up a little bit so the driveway's open. They're coming over on that golf cart he had, him and Lynn. And he said, they'll be here in about 15 minutes. And you could do a group video. So now he's into it. Now he wants me to do a whole group. He wants his best friend, Darren, Herb, to be in this video and talk about his job that he retired from, where he was in communications on Air Force One. And he thought that would be more than interesting about him, although he was interested in being on it too. He was thinking about his best friend, because that's the kind of guy Ron is. Ron is super sweet. And so is Sandy. All of the people there were super nice. Well, the 15 minutes turned into about a half an hour. And they told me to have a seat, relax. I'm seeing everything in his garage. He's got this Coke machine that he's got full of beer in there. He's got 2 TVs on the wall. He says he puts the bottom TV. He can put picture in picture. He'll put 4 games on and then the main game on the top. And he's got all this cool stuff on the wall. The floor is, you could eat off of it. Comfortable chairs in there. And it was just, without leaving that one little area there, that man cave, it was going on. And then the garage doors were open. He had the beautiful pavers out there in his driveway. And the ocean was a block away. And these are just regular Buckeye, Midwestern, friendly, hospitable, genuinely good people that I couldn't have been more comfortable around. So the 30 minutes went by and we got more acquainted. And we're talking about the YouTube a lot and the camper and the RV show and Palm Beach County and moving to Jacksonville and, give him my life story. And I'm also getting a lot of information from him that I can remember to maybe talk about and bring up in the video. And so then finally, here comes Darren. And man, him and I hit it off right away. That guy was as friendly and as sociable as anybody, and his wife Lynn, and their grandchildren there, Gabe and Abby, and then the daughter Rhonda. Everybody was just super friendly, and they show up and are like, well, who's this guy? I never seen him before, but no problem. And then Ron's telling Darren, we're going to do a video, and he said, what's it going to be about? What are you going to ask? They were curious. I said, well, I just wanted to talk about your tenure with the Air Force One and what you did, and where you from and that kind of thing. And he was telling me he just turned. You heard him. He's going to be 62. April or something? Forget what. He's going to be 62 very soon, and he's already got the ball rolling, and he's going to get his check coming in. And if you're watching this, Darren, I motivate you still to follow up with that. He was telling me some things that he thought he had to do in order to get it going, that I'm not quite sure he really has to do all that, but he may know more than me. There may be some different things they want you to provide. It was some information that he had to gather, and he said, I'm just being a little bit lazy about it. Because one thing Darren's got, plenty of money. But no, he's going to get it, and he's going to have that check coming in, where Ron, he just let it sit on the side burner there and just was doing his own thing. And but Sandy, she was all about like, yes, it's not about the money. It's not about when you break even, when you start to lose. It was just about nobody's promised tomorrow. I didn't even tell her that. She brought it right up that, we just want to live. We're just trying to enjoy life. And they've been doing it for a while. They didn't just start. These people have been enjoying their life. Just like the Canadians that I talked about that come down every year for like 6 or 7 years. He said, there's a bunch of us in here. They all know each other. And they're down there having a good time. They're doing karaoke at the pool every day. And they're enjoying some, some beverages and stuff like that. But they're not broke dicks. These are citizens. These are people that are enjoying the fruits of their labor. And they're down from freezing snow and ice. Instead of sitting there and their life passing by, they're down here in Florida doing karaoke, walking the beach, eating at the sandbar, getting some good bar food, and staggering back to their house if they have to. As one guy put it, I don't think they do it that hard. And they're also enjoying themselves over there at Ron and Sandy's house. People are just retired. They're out of those prison jobs. They are doing their life. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm in a different niche. And they were intrigued by that. Because this is what they were saying. I was talking about I'm a self-proclaimed minimalist. I said, I have got this truck. I've got that camper. And everything I own is right there. I do have some totes that I left in Jacksonville on the ground, covered up where my site is, that my neighbor's watching over. He said, but they'll be fine. I just didn't want to put them in the back of the truck and carry them around. But that's all I have. And they were like, we got some stuff we need to sell. And we were talking about that. And I said, well, I got a saying. Do I use you? If not, get rid of it. I said, you can sell some things on Marketplace. And right away, Ron says, oh, we've sold some stuff. That's true. We've got some other things. And he wouldn't mind. Him and Sandy are in agreement about it. It's not like they're battling each other about it, about selling the Volkswagen thing that he's had for 25 years. He said it's just, he never drives it. It just sits there. He's got him a nice Tacoma, and she's got a nice Acura, and, so that's their cars. But he would sell that, she says, because that's taking up half of this garage they made a man cave out of. He can even expand and make that area, which is what he enjoys mostly. And then we were talking about how when you're 62 and I'm out doing the RVing thing and driving around, and when you get to be a little older, possibly even like Ron's age, that's something that I was telling this to Sandy, and she agreed. I said, I use the analogy of the 12-year-old kid to a 17-year-old kid about how you change. I said it's the same way from 62 to 67. People get these ideas in 62, like I'm going to go tackle the world, I'm going to travel, I'm going to RV, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then when they get to be a little older, 67 to 70, they're like, she said it for me, she says, you change. You just don't want to do those things anymore. You lose, not that they've lost the burning for life, they're doing what they want to do. But the things that they maybe thought about doing that they didn't do, they don't want to do now. So everybody was in agreement there that you got to live your life now. And if you are approaching getting your Social Security at 62, please don't wait until you're 67 or 70 and you've changed and all you're doing is waiting for the check to be a little bigger, or even a lot bigger, but you're just going to do nothing, have more money to have maybe a little nicer place that you can just sit in and do nothing. Get out and enjoy, travel, go golf, like those Canadians. They said they golf twice a week. Get out and live your life, because there'll be plenty of time later when you do change as you get older, and it'll happen to me too, where all of those activity things will be in the past. You won't lose your burning desire for life and to enjoy and have a good attitude and have fun, but there's certain things you're not going to want to do, like skateboarding, e-bike riding, surfing, who knows? There's just certain things that, you can't keep putting it off. You got to live your life today, because yesterday is gone. Tomorrow may not ever come. Today is the day to crush it.